In the heart of the dense, mist-laden blackwood forest, the hum of engines echoed through the ancient trees. Birds fluttered from their nests, startled by the rhythmic roars that shook the ground like the heartbeat of a giant. A convoy of machines had arrived, an army of precision, skill, and technological prowess, led by the most advanced chainsaws the world had ever seen. The world had changed since the old days of axes and hand saws. Gone were the slow, back-breaking methods of felling trees. In their place stood machines of such power and precision that they could bring down a 200-year-old oak in mere minutes. Yet, this was no tale of senseless destruction, but rather one of progress and balance, where humanity sought to harness nature's resources while honoring the forest's ancient wisdom. At the center of this operation was Leo Klein, the most respected lumberjack in the region, though that term hardly seemed fitting anymore. Leo wasn't just a woodsman, he was a pilot of machines, a conductor of a mechanical orchestra that performed the dance of timber harvesting. His father, and his father before him, had worked these same woods, though with much cruder tools. Leo had grown up listening to the stories of how the forest had provided for generations, and he knew, just as his ancestors had, that the trees were not merely resources, but part of a living system that deserved respect. This time, however, Leo wasn't alone. He was joined by a crew of 200 operators, each controlling machines that seemed almost alive with their ability to navigate the thick forest. These weren't ordinary chainsaws, they were state-of-the-art, computer-guided behemoths, equipped with sensors to detect the health of the trees, their age, and even the wildlife that lived in them. As the machines roared to life, the cutting began with precision. One of the machines, a towering chainsaw on a robotic arm, approached a massive spruce tree. It was nearly as old as the forest itself, standing tall and proud. The operator, a man named Jim, tapped his control panel, and the chainsaw began to work. But this wasn't a crude, violent act. The machine first scanned the tree, determining the safest angle of cut that would preserve surrounding flora and minimize impact. With a buzz and a slice, the chainsaw's diamond-tipped blade bit into the bark, and in moments, the tree came down, landing perfectly along a predetermined path. No stray limbs broke from the trunk, no damage to the undergrowth occurred. This was harvesting at its finest, an incredible balance of human skill, mechanical precision, and environmental stewardship. Around Leo, machines were operating in harmony, each one cutting, sorting, and processing timber with incredible efficiency. A feller buncher sliced through the trees like a knife through butter, collecting the felled logs in its steel jaws before stacking them in neat piles. Meanwhile, harvester machines stripped the logs of their branches and bark, leaving the timber clean and ready for transport. What once took a full day now took minutes. But there was more to this operation than speed. Leo and his team were not just cutting down trees, they were rejuvenating the forest. For every tree felled, saplings were carefully planted in its place, ensuring the cycle of life would continue. The forest, after all, was a renewable resource. With the right balance, it could continue to provide for future generations just as it had for the past. At the heart of this massive operation was a technological marvel known as the Titan Saw. The Titan Saw was a hybrid machine, part chainsaw, part crane, and part computer. With sensors lining its steel arms and a cutting system that could adjust its blade's angle to a fraction of a degree, it was the ultimate tool for selective logging. Unlike older machines that simply cut everything in their path, the Titan Saw could isolate specific trees, determining the exact moment to cut based on wind conditions, weight distribution, and the tree's structural integrity. Leo himself operated the Titan Saw, his hands on the controls, his eyes on the monitor. The machine moved with the grace of a dancer, its saw blade humming as it spun. With a flick of his wrist, Leo guided the blade into the base of a towering oak. The tree groaned, but it was a clean, swift cut. In seconds, the oak leaned and fell precisely where Leo had intended, its branches bending harmlessly to the side, avoiding damage to the nearby saplings. But the day was not without its challenges. As the team ventured deeper into the forest, the terrain became more difficult. Rocky outcrops and dense thickets of underbrush made navigation tricky, even for these highly advanced machines. Leo's expertise was called upon again and again, as he directed the operators around obstacles and devised new strategies to keep the operation efficient. At one point, they came across an ancient tree, a giant sequoia, easily over 500 years old. Its bark was thick and gnarled, its roots as thick as a man's torso. This tree was too old, too important to cut. Leo paused the operation, calling for a moment of silence. The team gathered, their machines idling, as they stood in awe of the towering giant. It was a reminder of the delicate balance they were striving to maintain, progress without destruction. In the end, the day's work was done. Hundreds of trees had been harvested, processed, and loaded onto trucks bound for the nearby sawmill. But hundreds more saplings had been planted in their place, ensuring the forest would continue to thrive. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the clearing, Leo stood beside the Titan saw, surveying the day's work. He smiled to himself, satisfied. This was not the brute force logging of old. This was something different, something better. The machines had done their work with skill and precision, but it was the human touch, the knowledge, and respect for the forest that made it all possible. The roar of the chainsaws faded into the distance, leaving behind the quiet rustle of the wind in the trees. The forest, though changed, was still alive, and thanks to the incredible skills of Leo and his crew, it would continue to